Welcome to Annette's Duets. Tonight's artist is one of my friends who's a singer-songwriter that you just won't believe how incredible she is. And I've been waiting a very long time for this moment here right now, Mary Lou.
Aww.
Mary Lou Fulton, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Annette. Thank you so much. It's great to be here. I appreciate all that you are and all that you do as a friend and a fellow songwriter.
Look at how we started. This is amazing. I love this. So, Mary Lou, before we even get started, we're going to sing a song called Red, White, and Blue. That's off a new album that you've just released called We'll Tell Stories. I'll get to all of that. And I was hoping that you could just introduce the song just a little bit for us before we play it.
Yeah, well, Annette, as you know, I'm really called to write music about what's happening in the world today. And especially music that supports our continuing struggle for racial and social justice. And this year in 2022, I am really worried about democracy because we're living in a time in which people are mobilizing to prevent people of color from voting, and they're also mobilizing to overturn elections when they don't like the results. And they do this while waving the American flag. Well, to me, this is not American. This is not for democracy. And I wanted to write a song that really helps us to reclaim the flag for our nation, for all of us, and for democracy.
I love this. I love everything about it, and I love that you wrote it. So. Mary Lou made an excellent video for the Red, White, and Blue as well, and you can find all of her information on her media page, and I'm so excited for you to see it. So on this version that we're going to sing right now is a dear friend of ours named Karen Turner, and she joined us for the harmonies and the vocals, and I'm just so thrilled. It's the first time on Annette's Duets that we've had 3 of us singing, so a new thing for us. All right, so anyway, I hope you enjoy.
When I was 5 years old, I led the rodeo parade. How they waved the flag as the marching band played. People stood and cheered, I thought it was for me. Till Mama told me later, love is for our country. The red, white, and blue belongs to you and me. It flies for everyone who dreams of being free. The red, white, and blue reminds us what could be a more perfect union. A new history. Now I see people wave the flag just like a gun, demanding to know whose side are you on. I'm on the side of justice, on the side of liberty, and I'm not gonna let them take my flag from me. The red, white, and blue belongs to you and me. It flies for everyone who dreams of being free. The red, white, and blue, it reminds us what could be a more perfect union. A new history. Many times our nation has burned with fear and rage, but we never gave up, kept finding a way. And after the darkest night comes the brightest day. So let's start our own parade and speak up when we see hatred and lies disguised as loyalty. Defend our nation's promise, defend democracy, and hold on to our flag from sea to shining sea. The red, white, and blue belongs to you and me. It flies for everyone who dreams of being free. The red, white, and blue, it reminds us what could be a more perfect union. A new history. Ooh, ooh.
I really hope you enjoyed that version of the Red, White, and Blue. And here we go, Mary Lou. I'm going to ask you some questions now. I hope you're ready.
I'm ready.
So, we met through Rob Seals at the Songwriting School of Los Angeles in a class called the Songmakers. And I was so fascinated by you that I knew we were going to be friends. I had to meet you. And you started off as a journalist, and then you became a fabulous businesswoman, and then you decided to write songs. And next thing you know, it came an album. So I'm just curious, when did you decide to start and really begin your songwriting?
Well, you know, I got to the point in my life where I was really tired of responding to the needs and priorities of other people.
I like that.
And I have always wanted to make music, but, you know, there's always something else going on in life. And so I just decided, look, I'm going to do this. I've sung in choirs my whole life. I've been a journalist and a writer. Maybe I can put all this together. Maybe I can write songs.
I love it.
And I started doing that. And I felt I had sort of a knack for the lyrics in particular. And I had a lot of ideas for songs, but I really had to learn about the music and how to put it all together. I'm just starting, you know, just having made my first album, which is really exciting. But I know that there's still a lot more to come and a lot more to learn and do. But I finally feel like I've gotten to the point in my life where I am where I belong.
Ooh, this is good. I feel like that's a song title. That's really great. Okay, so you start songwriting. The very first song you write is called Not Going Back, also to be found on her social media. And it won a contest called the Renaissance Artist and Writer's Song for Social Change Award. Like immediately, the very first song you wrote right out the gate wins an award. So, way to knock it out of the park is the first thing I want to say.
Well,
Congratulations.
Listen, nobody was more surprised than me, but also really honored, not only for that recognition, but for this particular song, which really speaks to, you know, how far we've come and how far we have to go in this country. So it just meant so much to me.
I adore that song. You and I did a co-write together called Come Along. And that has just been a little recognized as a finalist in that very same contest. Can you tell me what Come Along means to you?
Well, I want to go back to how Come Along started. So Annette shared this amazing hook for a song in our class together. It was an irresistible groove, and everybody knew it from the very beginning. And then she called me and she's like, you know, I don't know how to finish this song. I don't know how this song is going to fulfill its potential. And I also want to say that you were inspired by the women's movement and the Women's March.
Yes.
And in realizing that you wanted to do more, and many people want to do more, but they're not sure how.
Right.
They're not sure
Exactly.
how to get involved. They're not sure how to take that first step. And so Come Along with both of us together with that great groove and message, and some other, you know, lyrics and things that we developed together, I think has become this really beautiful invitation to everyone who thinks that this world can be better to go ahead and take that first step and come along. And it was super exciting that we were recognized in the 2021 Songs for Social Change contest as a finalist.
Absolutely.
And we are going to be performing in an award ceremony coming up soon.
Yeah.
And we are going to be on a forthcoming CD, a compilation of songs for social change that we're so honored will include Come Along. So I cannot think of a better person that I would want to make music with and be creative with and be friends with than you. And I'm so happy that we are going to be forever connected through the song.
Wow. Do you see why I like this woman? So beautifully articulated. It means so much to me, Mary Lou. Thank you so much. And we had the opportunity to sing the song earlier today, and here it is. It's called Come Along.
None of
moment. It's our song. Come along. Together we are strong. Come along. Walk beside us. You belong. Come along. Together we are strong. None of us are free until all of us are free. Come along, come along. We can make a change with solidarity. So come along, come along. Walk beside us. You belong. Oh, together we are strong. Everybody, let's come along.
I really hope that you enjoyed Come Along as much as I did writing it with Mary Lou. Thank you again, Mary Lou. It's wonderful. Okay, so you take a class, you win a contest, and now you have an album. Can you explain to me how that album came about?
I wish I could. It's, it really starts, I think, with just deciding to do it.
Okay.
And you played a crucial role in this process for me, because you were the first one to say to me, Mary Lou, I think you have enough songs for an EP. You got to do this.
I was all hot because I had just done mine. So I was like, come on.
And I said, oh, no, I don't think so. You're like, nope, you're going to do it. You got to do it.
Good and bossy.
I'm not taking no for an answer. I'm just like, when are you doing it? And I thought, well, maybe I do. So we all need friends who tell us and remind us that we have the potential and the possibility to do things that we never thought we could do. And so you've been that person for me. And so with Rob Seals, our songwriting teacher and our mentor as my producer, went into the studio with him and recorded these songs during COVID, right? Staring at a microphone, never having performed these songs in front of anyone, not knowing if they were any good, not knowing if anybody would like them.
We knew they were good, but that's okay.
But this is what we go through, right? We write this music and we write it for ourselves, and we hope, against all hope, that it's going to mean something to somebody in the world. And so I released the album. I was super excited that the music was played on radio stations across the country and across the world.
I believe I read somewhere at least over 100 radio stations.
It was actually more than 200 stations.
Oh my gosh, okay,
music,
this is incredible.
Which I can't even believe.
True.
A dream come true.
Yeah.
It's really beyond my dreams what's happened with the music. And I feel...
I'm sorry, I like being right.
You were right. You were right.
I'm sorry, go on.
I'm saying thank you.
You've also had some really wonderful album reviews as well.
I have. I've been just so fortunate to feel seen. I mean, I think as songwriters, we hope against hope that somebody's going to hear our music and really understand not only what we're saying, but who we are. And so I feel very, very blessed that there have been people who've listened to this music, and I felt really seen and understood. And a lot of my music has to do with social change and social justice, and I'm excited.
I was going to get right to that.
In this year, to think about ways to find homes for all of these songs connected to causes that I believe in.
Well, so that's what I was going to say I do believe that you are a social change advocate, but do you see yourself in your songs more as a social change advocate or a reporter telling your stories?
Well, it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
It's a little bit of both because with my background as a journalist, I write a lot of story songs. I like to tell stories. I think we all like to tell stories and hear stories. And so as a journalist, we're trained to be objective. But as a songwriter, I have a point of view, right? For me, there is no on the other hand when it comes to social and racial justice. We have to get there. This is something that we have to do as a society. And I hope that through music, I can contribute something more and something different than what I could as a journalist.
There's something that I know you don't like to talk about, but I'm super impressed by, but you actually got your degree in social activism, right? Or what was your degree?
I have a bachelor's degree in journalism, and then I went to grad school for a public administration degree.
Okay.
Which is really about, how can we lead more effectively in the nonprofit community and in the public sector and government for the good of us all.
So I think a lot of that, I guess what I wanted to ask is, so do you find a lot of that, those studies really contributing to the songs? I mean, obviously I think it's yes, but.
Well, yes, and I think I also look back on my life and I realized all of the different things that happened that set me up for this moment.
Mm-hmm.
In that time, I didn't know. I didn't realize. I didn't understand that I was being prepared to do this right now.
Absolutely.
And so now I can see it more clearly. I don't know what the future holds, but I can tell you that everything that I've done so far has prepared me for this moment.
Yes, and this fantastic album. Yes. You did include some very personal songs on this album, and how did that feel to you, being so very vulnerable?
Oh, it is so frightening. It is really scary when you are speaking your own personal truth in music.
Right.
You feel very vulnerable because it's so public. But yet it's those songs that are really personal or that have a personal connection that people respond to. People get when something is true. People know if something is really true and really means something, and they can feel it. And so that has encouraged me to want to do more personal storytelling and truth-telling in my music, even though it is always going to be scary, I think.
It's slightly terrifying, I find it.
Yes. More than slightly, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So your father was very musical, and you grew up singing in the choir and playing the piano.
Right.
And writing lots of story songs. We've been talking about that. And you also use the fact that you're bilingual in your music, which I think is fantastic, and people are very much resonating with that. And so you wrote a song called a corrida?
It's a corrido.
Okay, I was close. Okay, called The Ballad of Swaki. Can you talk about that for a little bit?
Yes, so I grew up as a bilingual, bicultural American on the border in Arizona. My dad is of German ancestry and my mom is from Mexico. And my dad spoke fluent Spanish, so I just grew up speaking English and Spanish all the time. So for me, it's really a natural type of thing to speak in English and Spanish and to sing in English and Spanish. And one of the stories that I tell on the album is the story of my mom's hometown, her village in Mexico, that was unjustly destroyed to make way for a dam. I've been hearing about this place since I was a little girl, this magical, incredible place where there was community, where there was history, where there was so much love. And all of our family members, many of whom are elders now, they just have such a great love and so much reverence for that place and that time. And they're among the last people who know that community, right? Because it's gone now. It's at the bottom of a lake.
Right.
It's at the bottom of a lake where people come to fish for bass, and they have no idea of the culture and the traditions and the cemetery that sits at the bottom of the lake, because when all of the people were pushed out and forced to leave the community, they had to leave our ancestors. And that's a heartbreaking memory. So I wanted to make sure that this story was remembered and told. And I collaborated with my mom, who's a co-writer with me on The Ballad of Swaki, to tell the story of the place where she grew up and to really recognize my grandmother, my Nana Concepcion Ruiz, who always said to me, to remember is to live. Recordar es vivir.
I love that.
So that's what the song is about, telling that story, but remembering that the Swaki will always be alive as long as we tell the story.
And you went to Swaki to make the video.
The video actually came from home movies that my dad took when he went to Swaki, because I was born after Swaki was destroyed, and the year after it was flooded and destroyed. But my dad went there to ask for my mom's hand in marriage.
Wow.
And he was quite a photographer and took his home movie camera. And so I have this incredible rare footage in the video that shows, my mom making tortillas, standing in the doorway of an adobe house, the river where folks had to haul water because there was no running water and no electricity. And just to remember that this, this is a place where real people lived and had real lives that meant so much to them. And so I was so fortunate to have this archival material that my dad created to incorporate with the video, and also to film the video in my hometown of Yuma, Arizona, on the border, on the Colorado River, in a place that, you know, kind of became the new home for our family after folks were forced out and immigrated from Mexico.
This video is a must watch. So you'll see it on Mary Lou's social media, and on Facebook you posted a video of your uncle watching the video for the first time, and I dare you to try and watch that and not shed tears. So it's a very moving video.
Thank you.
It's a must see. It's a must see.
Thank you.
Okay, so Mary Lou, you sing in English and Spanish beautifully. You do some folk music, a little country feel, some rock feel. I'm kind of getting Linda Ronstadt vibes from you. And I'm wondering, are there any other genres that you feel like you might be exploring? Opera, perhaps? I don't know.
It's not going to be opera. But I definitely want to continue to write bilingual music and lean into that part of who I am. And I love country. I love folk. I love kind of 70s pop rock singer-songwriter, Jackson Brown.
You're a big Prince fan too,
Bonnie
aren't
Raitt.
you?
I'm a big Prince fan. I'm thinking, like, how can Prince music be reimagined as folk music?
Ooh.
Do you think that's possible?
Sinead O'Connor,
Can we do
perhaps,
that?
maybe?
Sinead,
touched on that.
she did that. She did that too. So yeah, I think for all of us, you know, until we sit down to write music, we don't really know all of those things that we are carrying within us as inspirations.
That's right.
And I didn't know until I started writing how much country music was in me.
Right.
Because when I was a kid, I was like, oh, turn that stuff off. That is the worst. Boring, you know, twangy, hillbilly, whatever. I don't want to hear it. Now I realize, oh, okay, that music is incredible. My dad had incredible taste in music. And I love that music.
Yes.
It's storytelling music.
Yes.
It's so true and real and connected to the real lives of real people. And that's what ends up coming out of me, is that thing that I didn't even know had been there waiting all of this time to find its voice through me.
Yes, so true. Okay, that leads me to another idea, that you have a song on your album called Silvy, and it was covered by Leadbelly. And I'm wondering if you could talk to us about that.
I've always loved Silvy. It's a very old American song that Leadbelly made famous. And when he performed the song, he told the story of an enslaved person in the South working in the fields, a man who was just hoping that his woman Silvy would bring him a little water every little once in a while. And that song has always made me think of my relatives who, after immigrating to the United States, worked in the fields. They were farm workers, they picked crops, they packed lettuce, and the farm workers of today are different from the farm workers of yesterday. Most of the farm workers today are Spanish speaking, but yet there's a common bond, right? There's a bridge across time and across generations that I wanted to honor through a bilingual version of Silvy.
I love it.
So I sing in English and Spanish, did the translation myself, and my hope is that, you know, it just helps us to have gratitude and compassion for all of the people who work in the fields, who pick the food that we eat every day, and appreciate that, you know, their struggle for justice is continuing. And so it's a special song for me that I'm really proud to have on the album.
And to me, it's just such a stunner that it makes me think that perhaps a covers album might be down the road. I don't know, just throwing out ideas. So anyhow.
I know that you'll come back and I'm waiting for the oracle, Annette, to tell me what is it that I need to do now.
A covers album. It's just a thought. Okay. At any rate, earlier today we sang this song and we wanted to share it with you. So here it is, Silvy.
Every little
once in a while. Every little once in a while. Every little once in a while.
I hope you enjoyed that version of Silvy as much as I enjoyed getting to play with Mary Lou. I think, as far as we can tell, you're the only one that has made that arrangement bilingual.
Yeah, as far as I know.
Yeah. Just another way to be impressed by you. It's okay.
Thank you.
It's a feel the love kind of moment. Okay, last stop. Here's the last question. Okay, so We'll Tell Stories. We'll Tell Stories has done so well for you, and I'm delighted and thrilled and just so proud of you. I want to tell our people out here, what can they expect next from Mary Lou Fulton?
Well, I want to perform again. You know, during COVID, we as artists were really constrained, right, for safety reasons. We couldn't play our music live. And even though we can perform on Zoom, let's be real.
It's painful.
It's not the same.
No, it's painful.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about performing my music, you know, performing the whole album and getting to connect with people in that way. I'm excited about finding homes for a lot of the songs that I have written with social justice organizations and advocates for the causes that I believe in. And I'm excited about writing new music. And I'm not quite sure what that's going to be, right? We never know what is going to come out, how it's going to come out, and what it's going to mean. But as you have said to me many times when I've said, "Oh, Annette, I'm done. I don't think I can do this again," she's like, "Oh yeah, you're going again.
You're going again.
I know you are.
You're going again."
And so I know that you're going to keep after me,
yes,
and encouraging me, and there will be something more. I have faith in that, even though I don't know exactly what that is in this moment.
That's okay. I'm going to wrap this up because Mary Lou's got work to do getting on her next album. But thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you enjoy Mary Lou as much as I do. And I can't wait for you to come back with your next project and to play with you again. Thank you so much for being here, my dear friend.
Thank you for everything.
And I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.